Over the weekend, the Yes Camp relaunched their campaign to get Australians enthusiastic about voting yes on the Voice to Parliament referendum coming up in a few months. Now, polls continue to show that the vote for the Yes Camp continues to decline from the highs that we were seeing very early on when these polls were being touted as being very positive for the Yes Camp. Now we're seeing the opposite, where the No Camp is either catching up or surpassing the Yes Camp altogether. Now, I looked at some of these events that they held, some of these rallies in support, and the enthusiasm there. It seems like very low energy events attended by sometimes hundreds, if not a few thousand people. The media, of course, is reporting this as tens of thousands of people and as a very kind of positive thing in a way for the Yes Camp to get it off the ground again. Now, look. I'm not going to be this person that compares different people protesting for different causes, but I will call out the media for what they did during the lockdowns and anti-mandate protests when we had tens of thousands of people, sometimes 50 to 100,000 people, maybe more, even though it's disputed, turn up on the streets. And we were told consistently by these same organizations that just because there's 50,000 people on the street, it doesn't mean anything. These are the fringes of society. Well, now we're getting a few thousand people turning up to some of these events, not even. And this is meant to be some sort of positive sign of enthusiasm, according to some of these reports and the way that it's being carried about. What do you guys think? Do you think actually it matters the number of people that come to these rallies? I still believe that it's very early stages in all of this, and we might end up seeing rallies and either protests or whatever it is that we see astronomical numbers in support or against these things. That's still to be seen. But as it is right now, the media is playing this game. These advocacy bodies are playing this game about these numbers and how it means something important. Now, one thing in particular was the city of Sydney sharing this particular image, saying that thanks to the 5,000 people who came out to Prince Alfred Park today for the Sydney Come Together at the Yes 23AU event. And then they shared this photo here. So you can see there. Now, I don't think that there's 5,000 people there in that photo. I don't know if there were 5,000 people previous to this photo at this rally, but this image that they've posted with the text of the 5,000 people, it doesn't appear to be the case. And a few people had put this through some software that counts numbers, and that gave an approximation of about 700 people at this particular event. Now, let's say we're being generous here. Let's say there's 1,000 people there. It's very far away from the numbers of 5,000 that apparently turned up to this particular event. So what do you guys think? With the current state of affairs in our country on this particular topic, do you actually see the yes vote getting up? Or are you, in your general circles, when you talk to people, are you hearing more people saying that they're going to be voting no? Typically, in my interactions out in the community, I'm finding that a lot of people are actually not sure what any of this is, to be completely honest. I don't think many people actually understand the process here and what's going on. It's very unclear, besides those who closely follow these things and follow these politics. A lot of people are still confused about this thing. Of course, when I have discussions with people who are more politically inclined in my circles, a lot of them are on either the fence or are voting no. And what we're seeing at these particular rallies, if I just play this video from Channel 9, I think it's more of the hardcore Yes Camp, their supporters, their volunteers, and their activists. I don't think it's actually gotten to the stage where we're having members of the public joining into these in a meaningful manner yet. Let's just have a look at this story.
Good evening. Tens of thousands of Australians have attended rallies around the country to show their support for an Indigenous voice to Parliament. With a referendum just months away, public support for the proposal is slipping, prompting the Yes campaign to shake up its approach.
Australians spelling out the three-letter word that could change the country.
We're all going to vote what? Yes! What?
Yes! A message echoed from the East Coast to the West. as crowds gathered at more than 25 events calling for an Indigenous voice to Parliament to be enshrined in the Constitution, using dance, music and smoke to send voters a signal.
This is about
So yeah, I mean, even just from that little package there from Channel 9, again, very low energy. It looks like a lot of the people are wearing the same T-shirts, court volunteers, very enthusiastic in terms of their participation in these things. Probably community groups who are organised, who are a part of, the Labour left. They've been captured by these organisations and they're participating in this as well. I don't see a diverse crowd of Australians there, which I've seen at other such rallies for other issues. So I think it's still very early days, but just my take on what we're seeing right now, it feels like the Yes camp are in a bit of trouble, and they're hoping, I think, in the future that the media, their corporate support, and just the general political atmosphere that Labor is going to be pushing, maybe with some of these things like the misinformation bill that they're working on, they will hope to actually get people over the line and onto their side. And interestingly, I asked a question on Twitter whether ACMA would count this particular image as misinformation if their new bill was to be put through in its current state. I don't think so. I think this will be left alone. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, guys, if you're enjoying my videos and what I'm doing, you can follow along on YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, Facebook, Odyssey, and Instagram at The Real Rukshan. And you can also find me by searching up Rukshan Fernando. See you guys next time.